I'm a grateful recovering addict. My name is Marvin. I love this meeting. I love the fact that there's so many people here because it tells me that we are all seeking recovery. To everybody that picked up a key tag, congratulations to you. Sean, you got to come back. I didn't realize you had to be here on Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. And Joy neglected to tell me. But this is something strange just happened for me. I'm sitting here and I'm witnessing this. I had a sponsor to pick up a 30-day key tag, one picked up a 90-day key tag, and one just picked up a year today. And that's not because of me, but that's because of the work they did. If you picked up a key tag, whether you have 1 day, 1 hour, doesn't matter. Well, you never have to use again. Tonight we are on step 5. For those of you who care to know or who feel like I need to qualify, did you start that? Because I didn't. Okay. I have 3.5 years clean. Next week on the 18th, I have 3 years and 7 months. And I say that because it seems like just yesterday that I was picking up a white key tag. It seems just like yesterday I was picking up the orange key tag. See, I get excited when key tags are passed out. I get excited when I'm in a room full of recovering addicts, and especially newcomers, because the newcomer is the most important person at any meeting because we keep what we have by giving it away. And until I started giving away what I had, I didn't know what the hell I had. But when I came in with the old timers and they started teaching me the value of what I had, that's when I started taking it serious. And I'm still here and I'm not going anywhere. Thank you. It's hot in here. Anyway. So step 5 is where we are tonight. And I'm gonna do what I always do. I'm gonna bounce around the place, but I promise you that you're gonna understand what I'm talking about. So ladies and gentlemen, please buckle your seatbelts, make sure your seats and tray tables are in the upright position because we're going somewhere. Step 5. We admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. I don't know about you, but to me, when I hear the word exact, I'm thinking about precise. I ain't sugarcoating shit. There ain't no black and gray areas for black, white, or gray areas for me. It is what it is. The precise nature of why I do what I do. I'm going to look at my behaviors because this 5th step is going to help me to identify patterns of behavior. Because for me, remember, I always say recovery is about a radical change of thinking and behavior modification. Because if I can change the way that I think, I can change the way I behave. And if I can do those two things, then the disease of addiction doesn't have that much to work with. And when I worked my 4th step, I worked that 4th step like there was no 5th step. The 5th step is not simply working the 4th step. But let me shut up. Let me tell y'all what the literature said. Let me just tell y'all what the literature said. I mean, because I could talk and you could tell us recovery because I just tell you what the book said anyway, even when I'm not reading the book. The 5th step is the key to freedom. It allows us to live clean in the present. Sharing the exact nature of our wrong sets us free to live. Let me read that again. Hold on. Thank you, but it was too much. Too much. Because I feel like if I start spitting, y'all 3 in trouble. I'm gonna go flying across the wall, but I mean, if that means you stick to me in recovery, hey, it is what it is. The 5th step is the key to freedom. We get to say this thing around here that I'm happy, I'm joyous, and I'm free. And I promise you that anybody who says that they're happy, joyous, and free, these people have thoroughly worked a 4th and a 5th step. And if they're telling me that they're happy, joyous, and free, and I ask them about the 4th and 5th step, and they can't tell me about it, baby, I'm gonna tell you delusional. It is impossible to live free. It is impossible to be happy. It is impossible to be joyous if I have not identified the exact nature of all of my wrongs. So if you're new in here, baby, let me tell you something. You can come in here and be who you want to be. Because we can't help the real you if you ain't the real you. We can't help you change into who you desire to be if we don't see the real you in that moment. We address the right here, the right now, the present. I didn't come in here looking like this. Did I, Steve? Did I, Melissa? I did not come in here looking like this. I came in here with no recovery. I came in here with ready to whoop your acidness. That's what I came in with. But I had to learn that sharing the exact nature of my wrong sets me free to live. After taking a thorough 4th step, we deal with the contents of our inventory. We deal with the contents of our inventory. What does that mean? What that means is, regardless of what comes up in my searching and fearless moral inventory, and notice that in case y'all have not realized this, all the steps apply to me as an individual. So I make I statements. I let the steps change me so I can talk about you. I'm kidding. I let the steps change me because they're for me. So on that fourth step, this is a we program. Don't get it twisted because we're never alone. That's what NA stands for, right? But in the fourth step, when I began to do that searching and fearless moral inventory, I considered my nature. I wasn't thinking about yours. Because see, I didn't come here to get clean for you. I didn't come here to recover for you. I came here to get clean for me. I came here to recover for me. I came here so that I could be a part of something greater than me. That power greater than myself, if you choose to make it the group, I now have a responsibility to belong in this fellowship where I become and represent hope for somebody else. Because that person that doesn't understand that the humility behind this, the integrity rather, behind this fifth step is the key to your freedom. I get to be exactly who I am all the time, regardless of whether you're watching me or not. I don't change. Because, see, the steps have taught me how to be consistent with my character. Something else I learned, y'all pay attention, newcomers, because I want you to learn from day one. My recovery will not take me where my character cannot keep me. I'm going to say that one more time. My recovery will not take me where my character cannot keep me. So what I'm saying is, after having looked at my searching and fearless moral inventory, the things that I had to deal with, not run from, the things that I thought were so debilitating that they were just, I was just crippled. I was malfunctioning with all this chaos and all this confusion that I didn't want you and you and you. I didn't want y'all to know that stuff because I thought that you would reject me if you knew the truth. But the thing about this, the fourth and the fifth step together, again, I worked the fourth like there was no fifth, and working the fourth doesn't mean I'm working the fifth, right? So when I got to this place where I'm going over my fourth step with my sponsor, something happened in that moment between the fourth and the fifth step. I realized we were talking, I had a Me Too moment with my sponsor. He looked at me and he said, me too. And it normalized me. And I said, oh shit, now I'm home. I ain't gonna say I worship the ground my sponsor walks on, but I think an awful lot of my sponsor. I love that man. If you know who he is, you know who he is. And if you don't, you don't. But I'm friends with my sponsor now. He has become family to me now. I call him about anything and everything. I call him just to shoot the shit. This is my sponsor's this is his favorite phrase to me. Boy, you a damn fool. And I'd be like, you ain't wrong. This is the man who I was deathly afraid to ask to sponsor me. I'm going to jump a little further in the reading because it's key. It is very key that you find somebody. Look at God with his sense of humor. We must carefully choose the person who is to hear our fifth step. We must make sure that they know what we are doing and why we are doing it. I love sponsorship because I get to let my sponsor see exactly who I am. So that when he says I'm a damn fool, I can joke back with him and say, you ain't wrong. Because back in the day, if you'd called me a damn fool, guess what was happening? We going at it. I'm throwing hands. Why am I going to get mad because you telling me the truth? The truth hurts. No, truth don't hurt. It's your perception of and your hearing of the truth because you ain't ready for that. You can't handle the truth. And I couldn't. But when I worked my fourth step for myself and I began to deal with some of the tragic events that had happened in my life, some of the traumatic events that had happened in my life, whether it was being molested by my uncle, whether it was I don't have a resentment anymore. Before you understand what I'm about to say, I'm going to say this, and it's going to sound like a resentment, but it's not. I have an aunt, and if you know anything, I hear a lot of people that say they come from the Catholic Church, this and that. Well, I came from the Black Baptist Church, where they rub you up and down with fish grease and stuff, like you think you're going to a fish fry and all this stuff, and they're trying to pray away the game, but this is my mom's sister, and she didn't like me, and I called her Aunt Jesus. I mean, that feeling the sentiment was mutual. You don't like me, bitch, I don't like you, we good. And I used to call her Aunt Jesus, and I remember, imagine me growing up in I've always been that person that I've never had a problem with God, but I've always hated religion. Because the God of my mom, the God of my grandmother, was such a punishing God. He didn't love me, and I was the worst thing that came along since the devil. You would have thought I was the devil's twin brother the way they talked about me. So you telling me all this bad shit about myself, making me feel some type of way. So when I act some type of way, don't act stupid or surprised because I'm being exactly what you said I am. See, because I didn't understand that what you say about me doesn't matter. It matters what I answer to or what I say about myself, which is where we're going somewhere with this. When we admit something, we admit it to God, to ourselves, and to another human being, the exact nature of our wrongs. That admission, you can say whatever the hell you want to me all day long. Doesn't matter, but I got to say it for myself. When I make an admission for myself, see, I got to hear myself say this thing, and that's where the freedom comes from. This is my key right here, but when I speak, I just unlocked the damn prison door and I walked out. Because guess what? I just put my secret out there now. The thing that I thought I was going to get rejected from, when I put it out there and I had somebody say, me too, revolutionized and changed my recovery. Because see, now I had to go back to the honesty of the first step to even make that admission in the first place. Am I losing anybody? Because this is newcomers, and y'all know what? I'm trying my best to keep it in second gear. But y'all know, Steve, how am I doing? Okay. Told y'all to buckle your seatbelts and set y'all know what they say on the plane. But anyways, the honesty to admit all that shit that I went through in my fourth step, the exact nature, searching and fearless means exactly what it says. I'm searching for something, not because it's lost. I know it's there. I just can't put my finger on it. Doesn't mean it's lost. It's there. I have awareness that something is there. My value that I had lost because I was doing something that God knows I never thought I would have done. When you asked me when I was in kindergarten what I wanted to do when I grew up, bitch, I did not say I want to be a seat warming member of Narcotics Anonymous. I didn't want to be a Narcotics Anonymous member. I didn't even know what NA was. I know it was 2 letters in the alphabet. That's it. The A at the beginning and N comes after M. That's all I knew. I did not know I would be sitting in this room with a bunch of people admitting to you my faults, my flaws, my character defects, and all this other crazy shit and not giving a damn whether you like me or not. I didn't care. Or I don't care. But back then, I didn't know. You told me I was going to grow up smoking cracks. Well, we ain't going to talk about the drugs. That's something I rarely ever do, and I just had a moment. But the point that I'm making is, I didn't have any visions in my life of sitting in a room full of addicts, going to meetings for the rest of my life. And it has become my life. And I love it. And I have fun doing this. I'm going to tell you now, I go to a meeting and every day that ends in a motherfucking Y. You know why? Because I use every motherfucking day that ended in Y. All holidays and weekends included. So when I talk about the exact nature of my wrong, I talk about the exact and the precise nature of my wrong. I did it because I didn't know who I was. And if you called me on Monday and say, you want to do this today? Yeah, because I would fly with every wave of the wind that blew because I got to fit in somewhere because I hated me. And even if you didn't like me and you wanted to hang with me, not because of who I was, but because of what I had, I'm going to roll with you because you like me. You love me. And I was in denial. I was delusional about the fact that these people are my friends. Baby, they weren't my friends. These bitches wanted to use what I had. Now me wanting to bust them upside the head. You done used all my shit. It's gone. Now you got your shit and you gonna come back here, bitch. We getting ready to use your shit now. I got tired of living like that. I got tired of living like that. If you laugh, you can identify. And if you can't say amen, just say ouch, motherfucker, and let's keep on going. Step 5 is not simply a reading of step 4. Step 5, I'm admitting some shit. I got to work some spiritual principles. Every time that I work a spiritual principle, I don't know who it was that said this, or every time I work a step, somebody says, if you don't understand the step that you were on now, that means you didn't thoroughly work the step that came before it. So again, we're talking about the honesty in the first step. We're talking about the acceptance in the first step. We're talking about surrender in the first step, right? I can't thoroughly work that fifth step, talking about the exact nature of my wrong, if I'm not honest, if I hadn't accepted the fact that my life was unmanageable. I can't manage my thoughts, my feelings, or my emotions. And if I don't get these under control, can you close that door, please? Thank you. The disease of addiction is going to pounce on me, and that unmanageability is gonna show up again, right? But if I can talk about the exact nature of my wrongs, not be so worried about whether you like me or not like me, but when y'all had that Me Too moment through identification, our identification as addicts is all inclusive. When I said what I had to say, I realized, you know what? I'm gonna say this damn boy. Y'all gonna get mad at me, but I don't care. When I found out I wasn't the only straight dude, well, I ain't straight, but anyways, I found out I wasn't the only dude in here that sucked a dick before. I was like, what? Really? Because we all know we did something strange for some change. And some of y'all just did something strange for no change because you like the strange, and then you don't want to talk about it. It needs to be on the fourth step so you can get to the exact nature. Do you want me to tell you how many guys I know that they keep chronically relapsing? Because at the end of the day, I think I want some fish, but I really like chicken. Ain't nothing wrong with chicken. Put some barbecue sauce on and they have at it. I'm happy, I'm joyous, and I'm free. And I don't like fish, and I'm okay telling you I don't like fish. Okay? See, we can laugh now. I'm happy, I'm joyous, and I'm free because I admitted to God, to myself, and to another human being all the stuff that I thought y'all were going to judge me for. And now I can sit in a room full of addicts and I can joke like that. And whether you get the joke or not, it's not going to keep me from saying it because I'm big, black, bad, and bold enough to say it and dare you to say anything to me about it. Okay? How you doing? For years, we avoided seeing ourselves as we really were. We were ashamed of ourselves and felt isolated from the rest of the world. Now that we have the shameful part of our past trapped, we can sweep it out of our lives if we face and admit it. It would be tragic to write it all down and then shove it in a drawer. These defects grow in the dark and die in the light of exposure. I love me some light. Not only because you can see me better, but I just love me some light. Y'all can laugh at that. Most of y'all didn't get it, but it's okay. And it ain't racist if I say it. God damn it. These defects grow in the dark. Think about the things we did in the dark. Think about the thing. I don't know, you might not want to, but I'm going to make you think about this because I want you to remember that last one or those last ones or those last few times. Think about those defects. It's dark. I can do it in dark. Can't nobody see me. Ain't it funny? You could be 20,000 miles away from home doing your shit in the dark and think nobody sees. And you're running at one person that you know and be like, oh, God. That one person that's going to run and tell everybody. What I came to understand is that God was setting me up, even then, to put me in a position to have to tell on myself. Because God knew something that I didn't know, that it was going to take me being honest with myself to have to admit the exact nature of my wrongs, hear myself say what I was doing, and when I heard the foolishness and the idiocy behind what I was doing, then I wanted to do something about it. Now, see, it was a process, and it didn't happen overnight. It wasn't quick for me, but guess what? It came. It happened. Honesty, acceptance, and surrender of the first step. And then I was able to step over to that second step where I got some hope. You know what I'm saying? I got some hope now because when I admit the exact nature of my wrongs to my sponsor and I have this doggone Me Too moment, I got hope that, you know what, I really can. I got a shot at this. I don't have to be the way that I was. I can change because I know my pattern now. And not only do I know my pattern, but because I'm being honest with my sponsor and he sees me, he knows my pattern too. And because I know that he loves me, I trust him, and he can trust me too. He's never told me anything that he's heard that I've gone back and repeated. And I've never told my sponsor anything that he's gone back and repeated. When I tell you I love the relationship I have with this man, I cannot stress and emphasize the importance of understanding that you have to choose the right sponsor. Don't be setting me up on no damn blind sponsorship day. Fuck that. Just because you like him don't mean I am. No. Because everybody who follows me is not my fan. And I have to watch That's something I learned when I came into these rooms, because I have to give my most guarded possessions, including those character defects. Remember, they've been with me for a long time. So I see them as guarded possessions, even though they're the things that are killing me. Because until I can admit it and see it for myself that it's killing me, it doesn't matter what you tell me. I have to be willing to surrender in the process. My sponsor can't do it for me. My sponsor gives me suggestions. And you know what? I don't give him pushback. I listen to what he has to say. I had to think for a minute, because I'm going to be honest. I know my sponsor loves me. I got a sponsor brother in here. We're the favorite too, but I'm the favorite one. Anyways, my sponsor doesn't have to spend a lot of time sponsoring me like that, like in terms of giving suggestions, because he's watched me from the first day. And he said something to me one day. He gave me a medallion, and it really touched me. He said that the relationship that he has with me is one of the closest relationships that he has. And that meant so much to me, because, again, you got to remember, I had a Me Too moment with him. I shared the exact nature of my wrongs, and this man still looked at me and loved me. This man still looks at me and hugs me. I'm a 45-year-old, bald-headed, black, depending on the day of the week, man or woman. I don't know. I don't know if I'm Watermelonisha Blastina, or I don't know if I don't know who I am, but I know I'm all of them clean. All of them clean. All of them work steps and apply principles. Well, maybe not so much Watermelonisha. Y'all don't want to meet her. She just gangster. And he is a 30-year-old gay white man. No, he ain't gay. But he would tell you, we joke like that. But the way we joke with each other, that relationship was built over time by working the steps. And it was solidified when we worked that fourth step together. That's when I started loving y'all even more. My process has not been scary. I can say my process hasn't been scary, because my desire to recover is determined by my recovery is determined by how determined I am to recover. So I came in here with the fear that we talk about. I learned how to stand up and face my fears. The fear of asking him to sponsor me in the first place. I didn't die when I asked him to sponsor me, and his exact words to me were, I'd love to, or I'd be honored to. And I said, oh shit, I'm not such a bad person. I actually teared up. I really did. And then I remember when we went over, like some of the things that we talked about, like when he shared his 4-step inventory with me. You can't tell me that God doesn't orchestrate perfection. I can fuck it up, but God knows how to set it up. I know the exact nature of my wrongs now. Just by spending time with my sponsor, talking to my sponsor, taking the suggestions that he's giving me. And again, he doesn't have to spend a whole lot of time telling me, don't do this, don't do that, do this, do that. Because if my sponsor ever wanted to find me, if he called me and couldn't reach me, guess what? He got eyes every goddamn where. Like, for real. But he knows I'm in a meeting somewhere. And somebody tells him something. But it's nothing bad. Anyways, I digress. I'm going to start shutting this down here in just a minute. There was something I read, since we're talking about fears. Because most of us come in here, we're afraid to recover. But if only you could see the value in your valley and exactly what's on the other side of your fear, I promise you run to your sponsor. If you don't have one, you run and get one. And you work some steps and apply some principles. So again, we getting back to the honesty, acceptance, surrender, the hope, the faith in the third step. That you know what? The more I talk about this stuff, the more faith I get, the more strength I have. And then all of a sudden I jump over into the fourth step because I got the courage now to look at all this stuff. Because if I don't have the courage to face me and through the established relationship with the God of my understanding that's been solidified now by working thoroughly the first 3 steps. See, it is so important for me to understand that when I pray the serenity prayer, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I can't change. Courage to change the things I can. Okay, isn't it funny that the spiritual principle behind the fourth step is courage, and I'm doing a searching and fearless moral inventory. I need to have courage to face me. And it's not so much that I need the courage to face me, because, bitch, I know me. I've known me all my life. But I just need to have the courage to face the shit that I've done that makes me think it's going to make y'all reject me. So that now I can get over to that 5th step and apply some integrity so that I can admit to God, to myself, and to another human being the exact nature, the precise nature of my wrong. And the reason it says the precise nature or the exact nature is because if you diagnose the wrong damn thing, you're going to get the wrong damn outcome. Any of the fears we talked about here might be ours, or we might have other fears that plague us. It's essential that we know what our fears are and move forward in spite of them so that we're able to continue in our recovery. No matter what our fears stem from, most of our members have done pretty much the same things to deal with them. We pray for courage and willingness, read the section from It Works, How and Why on the 5th step, and seek reassurance from other members. Many of us have had the experience of going to step study meetings and finding that coincidentally, the topic always seems to be step 4 or 5. If we make the effort to share what we're going through, we're sure to get the support we need from other members. Calling upon the spiritual resources we've developed through work in the previous steps will allow us to proceed with our 5th step. Again, integrity. Who am I when nobody's watching? Doing the next right thing for the next right reason. Period, point blank. Overcoming fears. Diagnosing the exact nature. Admitting to myself. Admitting some stuff, hearing myself say it, because I want to be happy, joyous, and free. And not only that, I want to help somebody else understand you have the ability to be happy, joyous, and free. The key to your freedom is right beneath your nose. Open your mouth and speak. Find the person you can connect with and trust them enough to give them your guarded possessions, which they're not as guarded as you think. Pain shared is pain lessened. Now is the best time. Now is the right time to work steps and apply principles. Now is no other way. And learn to ask the why. Why? My sponsees will tell you I ask the why all the time. We ask why, I ask why, and it's I don't know. You know what why stands for in my eyes? Who hurt you? The message is that any addict can stop using drugs, lose the desire to use and find a new way to live. This way of life is yours for the taking, but it ain't gonna come easy. If you want it, work for it, because it will work for you if you work it. Thanks for letting me share.